Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet.
Oh,
Hello,
hello.
Internet.
No one panic.
Mhm.
It's more afraid of you than you are of it.
Panic is my
Um,
general state of being, though.
for real. Yes, it's Wednesday, and that means only one thing. Just the one thing. It's D&D night. Before we begin,
I was
say
gonna
hello,
say new
nerds.
episodes of Percy Jackson, but
Oh,
Hello,
really?
nerds.
hello, nerds.
Yes,
Up.
nerds. Hello. Um, Before we begin with this evening's festivities, a couple of announcements and shout outs as we are wont to do. Um, there is a lot of things that happen on this channel and behind the scenes to make everything happen the way that it does and to the level of quality in which it does. And that would not be possible without tools like Incarnate and Dungeon Alchemist, Foundry VTT, Hero Forge, fantasy name generators, the MVP of the ongoing series Spelling Bee. Monument Studios, which provides all of our music, and I'm working on it, I swear. There will be music again one day at Nerd House Tabletop. Um, and maybe most importantly, the whole reason we're doing this, raising money for Extra Life Foundation.
Yeah.
Uh, we just concluded our year of fundraising. By the skin of our teeth, we did manage to hit our goal and raised just over $3,000. You might notice our donation tracker has been updated and zeroed out. Um, there are a couple of things that I will not quite announce, but I will certainly allude to for this year's fundraising efforts. Lots of interesting and new ways that people can get involved and get a little bit of extra benefit for donating. So keep an eye and an ear out for that. I'm sure once final decisions will be made and details get invented about that, we will be blasting those out on socials. But for the time being, I will keep up with my own mainstay of. Actually, I think I am going to mix it up just a hair, and I am going to copy what we were doing for our recent 12-hour stream, Extra Life 2 Electric Boogaloo, which was this past Saturday, right? All days are all a gray fog in my head. It's Wednesday and then not Wednesday.
Legit.
Um, but I will say that uh, anyone, players or people watching online, uh, if you donate $5 to Extra Life to our team, which all of that should be updated now with fresh links and things.
Yeah.
Um, Excellent. If anyone donates $5 to our Extra Life, you will be allowed to pick one player, not necessarily yourself, but it could be yourself, to get advantage on your next die roll. And because we do love a BOGO sale at Nerd House Tabletop, um, for $15, you can give the entire party advantage on their next die roll.
Okay, but like that's a buy that's a buy four or like a buy three
It's
get
buy
one. It's
three,
not a
get one.
BOGO because
BitGo.
BOGO means buy one get one. I'm just saying. Sorry,
I
I work
I
too much.
like I like the way that BOGO sounds.
It's
It sounds
BitGo.
yeah, BitGo. Um in addition, for every $50 that we raise overall, I will allow the group to take I called them layer actions on Saturday, but I think that is a bit of a misnomer. I think they're legendary actions that
That's
can be
how I did it.
taken. They're legendary actions that can be taken at any time during combat. So once we hit our first $50 mark, you will be you'll get to see what I have in store for those that the players might use. But yes, so without further ado, um, Sam, do you have a quick reference or can relink me to that list of amuse bouche questions?
Yeah, I can bring it.
Because I do not have that in front of me.
Give me but a moment. You don't have it saved to your friggin'.
Is it I have
I-
it, Sam. Is it the one we use on Sundays?
Yeah, it's the one we use on
Yes,
Sundays.
it's the same one.
I'm dropping it in the chat. Or do you want me to DM it to you, Dustin?
No, drop it in our chat and we'll pin it.
All right. Here you go.
Pin. Pin. Yes. So I would like everyone to roll me a percentile die.
Nine.
Ooh, cleric
Court,
numbers.
Court got a 9.
Truly.
Court, what deity, if any, does your character worship? And what is your opinion on other people's worship?
I don't think Helia worships a deity.
Okay.
She doesn't have a problem with other people and their deities as long as they don't try to, push it on her, invite her to Bible study or whatever they do. She's not going to youth group. But I think she sees the purpose for some folks, like clerics and the magic that they have. But for her, I think she's very based in reality, which is a little bit ironic because she's from the Feywild, and that's not always a very good grasp of reality there. But generally, she's not really a worshiping type of gal.
So I want to not explain something. I know that you know this, but I just want to establish this sort of thing in stone. Um, Clerics and wizards and warlocks are all, very real things in this world. The idea behind worship in general, in D&D, in many TTRPGs, in this world in particular, um, gods and deities are a very real, tangible thing. Unlike in the real world where everything is based in just belief, and is more abstract. That does not mean that your view is in any way invalid. It absolutely is. There are some people who can hear the call of a deity, and some people either don't or can't or choose not to. Um, but I I just want to point out that from an overall societal perspective, to say that um, you are rooted in reality in contrast to a belief, um, while that is a fair statement, it could be viewed as unkind or unfair. So I just want to make you aware of that.
To clarify, I think that she feels that God worship is more trouble than it's worth. And for her, she is very much interested in what she herself can do in the tangible, not sort of the intangible. Whereas the God's not exactly existing on the same plane.
Yeah, and being more self-reliant than, relying on your own abilities as opposed to relying on others, whether they are, impossibly powerful entities or what have you.
Exactly. And that is so much what she built her skills up off of, her skills of perception and deception and persuasion. So she falls back on that as opposed to the worship of a deity to give her power.
I have a question, because this may be, so she, because of her abilities, we know, and the party knows that she can change what she looks like. She can change her appearance. Has she had to imitate others who maybe are religious? And does she carry around like a bag full of religious paraphernalia?
Like Benny?
Like Benny?
Yes. My first thought was Benny just pulling out the correct one.
I believe, which is a good point, and actually quite hilarious. I feel like she probably had to once and was like utterly unprepared.
She doesn't take those contracts.
Yeah, so now she probably tries to avoid those contracts. However, probably like Benny, she learns like a couple of the key points or words of worship for the deities, but kind of just like keeps that satchel of tchotchkes tucked away.
Perfect.
I just love that idea of like, I had to learn like a couple words,
Like if you asked her to,
the equivalent of the Hail Mary.
Yeah, and if you asked her to, she'd be like, "Hold on a second," and be like 5 minutes of digging in her bag.
Like even if you're not religious, you still learn Latin because it's the smart thing to do.
And if I ever need to use the ATM at the Vatican, then I can.
Yeah.
So
excellent. Tina,
46.
Yeah, you said 26?
46.
46.
That is a 6.
What opinion does your character have on the 6 ruling houses of Korsavabru? I will remind you what they are. You're welcome.
Which ones are we tied to within the group? Like, because I right now I would say her opinion on them is very uninformed in the sense that they are part of society. She's aware of what their involvement is, how they interact with the guilds, how they interact with society in general, but I don't know that she herself has had dealings specifically with them, and without that doesn't really have a lot to base an opinion on. I think now she's questioning a little bit more with all
I will expand my question to include the guilds. So if you have any particular opinions on the guilds as a whole or any guild in particular.
I think now, after probably with the start of this job, but it's kind of those thoughts that had pre-existed, where you're thinking about, why we have to go through things this way, why are things set up the way that they are. But functions, yes, everything is smooth, but why, if I want to go and, I don't know, go and plant a garden or go farm something or go, why do I have to go through 8 rounds of red tape with 4 different guilds to go, go put a farm outside the city or go grow an orchard? That seems silly. Like, there's no room for, there seems to be a lot of roadblocks in place that keep things running smoothly, yes, but keep things also running very controlled. And usually
Okay.
when you have that sort of control, that also means that there are some people who have an easier time of navigating their way through that bureaucracy. And I think now that they've gotten involved in this job and they're seeing a little bit more, I don't want to say dissatisfaction, but a little bit more behind the scenes, and
Mhm.
obviously have been told that there's unrest and there are people instigating unrest, and they've seen sort of the, well, impacts of, at the very least, some kind of problem exploding the forge. Now that's kind of like, okay, maybe these questions are normal, and also maybe these questions are a little bit more relevant, because I don't think that Endeavor chose their guild because that's what other people that Endeavor knew did. It wasn't like a strong overarching desire to do this specifically. It was, well, I was born 3 years ago and I don't really have any, don't really have a life of experiences to shape this, but I like these people and these people do this, so I'm going to do this as well, and maybe that will lead me to where I need to be down the line.
Okay. Follow-up question. Would you say that you are pro or anti-guild?
I think right now Endeavor airs on the side of pro guild.
Okay.
I think that at the very least, the knowledge they have leans toward it having more of a benefit to society, particularly just being able to have that collective ability to, advocate for themselves. So, if you're a farmer, you can, and there's, I don't know, a bunch of problems going on. It's not just you as a farmer out there going, well, shit, I have nothing I can do about this. It's you with the other 2,000 people working to advocate for whatever it is that you need or whatever will benefit you. Now, they're also seeing the fact that that can also lead to a lot of problems, and there's obviously a lot more complicated sentiments under the surface. But I think she still leans pro guild.
Okay.
Pro guild, that may change as they delve deeper into the current mystery, particularly as they get exposed to more of the behind the scenes, the higher level dealings, the shady things that happen in bars that are perhaps, not bars.
Okay. Now, it's not bars that are not bars.
Bars that are better bars.
It is shitty bars that are secretly really awesome
Yeah.
bars.
Bars that you don't want to go to that it turns out you really do want to go to.
Yeah.
I mean, Endeavor is very curious about those like private rooms. It's like, man, like what do you got to do to get in one of those special rooms? Because obviously there's people who have some kind of something and they get to go in the rooms and we do not get to go in the rooms.
Yeah. All right. Sam, what did you roll?
13.
13. Does your character ever want to settle down with spouse, children, organic pets, etc.?
I know. No, I don't. As of right now, absolutely not.
Okay.
And I don't know if she has. Right now, no. But she knows that settling down doesn't necessarily mean stopping what she's doing. Having seen plenty of family members, okay, maybe not be part of like Deep Armory, but being able to continue life's work with that. But she has enough family to keep her satisfied for the moment.
Okay. She
I don't
doesn't
think
need to
so.
be creating more family.
Yeah, and I think she's content with the people that are in her life, and the responsibilities she does have, as few and far between as they are, and likes being able
You know,
to
for a
do whatever she wants.
for a young adventurer, few and far between responsibilities is exactly where you want to be.
Yep, I think that's just what it is right now.
All right. Rhodes, what did you roll?
26.
26. Uh, what would your character say? This may not actually be the case, but what would your character say their best trait is?
To say it the nice way, perseverance. What
Okay.
everyone else would say is stubborn as hell. He says perseverance because he's the sort of person, like, he's not naturally gifted or good at anything, but he knows that he has worked really hard in his lifetime to become good at the things he wanted to be good at, or to earn the respect that he wanted to earn, like, just not giving up. Which is
Okay.
why everyone else will be like, wow, you're just a stubborn asshole. But, two sides of the same coin.
So Zilny says, I have a can do attitude, and then hears whispers behind him of someone saying, wow, what an asshole. I
Like, yes,
dig
I
it.
can do that too.
Excellent. Well, our our day continues. We have visited a little bit with Endeavor, visiting the local library, trying to look up different creatures or things they might find or need while exploring inside the mountains. Um, we sat in with Lula and Brutus as they visited. Uh, they visited uh, your uncle Wilrick and the quintuplets.
Yes.
Um, and you were over there, kind of slyly inquiring about the state of the guilds as a whole. Um, and we had Helia. You were mostly at the tea shop, correct?
I went to see the guild master and
You,
ask him about um the guy that's going to be leading us down into the mines, as well
right.
as the contract and G.
You were the one who was speaking with Crumrack.
Yes.
Um, so yes, you were able to parse together a little bit of information, although not a ton. Um, and um, Zilny, you had made a couple of stops. You had visited Morecambe at Bits and Bobs for the odd job,
Mhm.
and you had also taken your prosthetic arm in for repairs at An Arm and a Leg.
Mhm. Mhm. To the point.
Um, so yes, I know that there were a couple of other things on your to-do list. Um, so who would like to go first? Or at this point, do any of you begin, pairing up and um, in trying to check any of this stuff off the list.
Zill and I are together.
Yes, the two of you are together. I had forgotten.
Yeah.
Um,
The only thing Zill needs to do at some point is go shopping for like all of the bullets, but he can probably get that at bits and
All of the
bobs.
bullets.
He doesn't know what the hell to expect down there, so like all of
Okay, that's
them.
fair.
He's just gonna walk and be like, I would like all of the bullets,
I would
please.
like all of your bullets,
Yes.
please. Thanks.
Yes. So
Specific,
I don't.
no. Which kind of bullets? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
fine.
he can probably get that at bits and bobs, or if there's a better place in town. I imagine he has plenty of options in town
Mhm.
to go shopping. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Morcom also just stocks the bullets that he uses in his guns purely because it's just easier for everybody involved. It's a guaranteed sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, the other thing that Helia did was she grabbed the job listing that the Phoenix
Hmm.
Fire Forge was requesting. The crew would need to venture into the mountain to retrieve the fire of a phoenix. Contact Corlias at what's left of the forge. So I think she's thinking potentially 2 birds, 1 stone, since they're already going into the mountain.
Okay.
But she'll meet up with the group first, wherever their general meeting spot is. I would assume that it's the mutton shop.
I feel like, yeah.
All right.
Lulu's got one other stop she wants to make, but then yeah.
Okay. Well, let's check in on Lula and Zilny. What is the other stop that you'd like to make?
Lulu wants to swing by her aunt's blacksmith.
Okay.
Not looking for her aunt Odatra, but her cousin Elza.
Okay. I am. All right. Zilny, do you accompany Lula and Brutus over to her aunt's, or are you splitting off to go do anything else?
No, the plan was to stick together, so he'll go with.
Okay. Um. So, I do not have a marker made up for this yet,
That's okay.
but we are going to put that marker right here. That marker will one day become the Hammer's Clamor.
The Hammer's Clamor. Okay.
That sounds like a place that has a curtained off area in the back.
It really does.
Only after hours.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's
it's like-
into different things.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You hear as you approach the Hammer's Clamor. You hear and can feel in the ground a the striking of an enormous hammer that shakes the ground in like 100-foot radius.
Um, I will lead the way, but before we like turn the corner, because I assume it's like just like most blacksmithery, like open air to keep like an airflow. It's kind of easy access.
So that is sort of more or less the case. If you remember, the Phoenix Fire Forge was kind of L-shaped,
Right.
and it had like a courtyard like in the front that had like a fountain and shit. but that courtyard faced the street.
Yes.
In contrast, the Hammer's Clamor is L-shaped, and they are also on the corner, but the open area is on the inside, and that is where most of the forging happens, out in open air, like you said. The building itself is almost entirely the store, storage, and like workshop area. Um, and as you enter, like I said, shaking the ground in 100-foot radius, every 30 or 40 seconds, one of these impacts happen. The surrounding area, it is worth noting, no residences and no like painters or calligraphers or seamstresses. It is an area that is mostly like just warehousing and just industrial zoning. You head towards the front door, and it is a uh, large for a large for a halfling, or large for a human door. Um, but it is appropriately large and ornate of dwarven construction. And you enter through these very large double doors that swing inward. And off in one corner, you see like 30, 40 feet away from the door, you see an enormous iron piece of machinery. Um, and in the center, it looks like two large rail tracks that lead straight up, and between them on a like wheel and pulley system is a 5 by 5 foot 10-foot tall rectangle of solid steel.
The hammer.
And this is Elza's hammer. Um, Elza is at work making something. She is turning a piece of heated steel into a pancake and making very short work of it. Um, but you immediately recognize Elza. She is wearing a it is covered in a thick layer of black soot. So a lot of the color is muted in a big way. Uh, but she is wearing, and you've seen her in this armor after it's been cleaned. It is like, it is a full suit of like plate armor. Um, but it is powder blue with purple accents, like rich royal purple accents. Her helmet with the faceplate fully down is in the shape of a fox. Um, and this is, and like I said, covered in black, so a lot of this color is muted. Um, but she turns, noticing the door open, um, takes one look at you, and just shouts. Not even shouting your name, but just shouts in excitement. Drops the piece of steel in a in a
Hold on. Be back in a second. OBS is great, you guys. We'll never know what the steel was dropped into. It's OBS. It's our internet. Sorry it happens. Am I gonna get back? Do I have to restart the Discord call? Probably. Hold, please.
serve it.
Oh, there it is.
There
Oh.
you are.
Oh.
Wife's back. What was
Wife
the
and the
last
streamer
thing you
back.
heard? What was the last thing you heard?
The last thing I heard was she took the piece of steel and
Cool. So all of that description was lost.
yeah.
She takes the piece of heated steel and drops it in a barrel of oil to quench. From her other hand, she just drops the pair of tongs on the ground and she leaps at you from 40 feet away and she covers the distance. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
I'm not good at that.
I know you're not. That's why I asked.
17.
17. Miraculously, you are able to catch and then pivot so that all of her momentum like goes past and around you and you are able to keep your feet. This is a maneuver that Elsa has tried a few times before. But she wraps her arms around you, um, and and in a metallic, Alphonse Elric type voice, she just shouts, "Cousin, I'm so happy to see you. What are you doing here?"
uh well, I wanted to see my favorite cousin, of course, and try and
You had taken too long to answer, and she's moved on to Brutus. Like, she's like batting his head around. Oh, who's a good doggo? Who's a good doggo?
just like Brutus is so excited. He can actually roughhouse
Oh,
Panther.
yeah. And Elsa, especially in her armor, the two of them start, like, boxing, roughhousing. Like, he jumps up on her, and she just, like, starts punching him in the ribs.
Don't dent him.
He's gonna dent me!
Listen, if he's something that can dent your armor, we need to be testing it more.
Well, you know my mother. She won't let me test it with more than a ball peen.
Saying
And I can't even wear it while I'm testing it.
could come out on a mission with me.
She flicks up the faceplate. And the faceplate of this helmet kind of lifts and retracts. Sort of like a classical medieval helmet, a little bit like Iron Man. That it is more than just a simple hinge. Um, but she flicks up the Fox faceplate. Um, and her face is not terribly dissimilar from yours. Um, she do- do- um she has short black hair that's just like shoved back but not done very well, so there's just like a bunch of like loose hairs just in her face. um and but her skin is completely clean. Her armor is definitely doing its job. um and she flicks up the faceplate and her eyes are, she's like bug-eyed. uh and she says, "Do you really mean it? I can come with you."
I mean, we're going on a pretty dangerous job. Couple of days into the mountain.
In, like, into the city?
No, to the mines.
Oh, that's so cool.
Uh,
And she kind of like looks over her shoulder. You so far have not seen your aunt.
yeah, she's constant. Like she's paying. I'm paying attention to Elsa for sure. Like full like concentration on Elsa. However, eyes on a swivel, looking out for Odatra.
Okay.
That woman not getting the jump on me. I want to be out of here before she should.
Make a perception check.
Or just make a perception check too. Is my
Yes,
guard
Rhodes,
dog?
if you would like to
Yeah.
make a perception check as well, you can, since you're there.
Yeah, did you warn
Oh,
Zill that you were like, yo, keep an eye out for this lady?
yeah, I think she's talked about her family pretty often, specifically Odatra, who's an aunt who is very salty about the whole not being in the same guild things, and like I think Lula's spoken about her, about especially like, oh, she thinks I'm a bad influence on Elsa. I don't know where she gets that. That's nuts. And like Lula's a little squirrely. Like she was nervous kind of walking over here a little bit of like just had that nervous energy about her.
I got a whole 10.
We just rolled a nat 1. Elsa's distracting him, and
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 6.
Okay.
Is he nudging Elsa's pocket for treats? That's what Max does to me.
Yeah, nuts and bolts.
No. Um, Brutus, by contrast, is like jumping up on Elsa, even though they're like literally the same size. Um,
I have inspiration from last session. Can I use that?
sure.
8.
Okay.
Not much better. Literally plus 1 more. God damn it.
Um, you and the three of you start talking about this possible job that you're going on, and Elsa is finding it real freaking difficult to hide her excitement. And between the three of you plus Brutus being in the shop, um, and talking about this cool, like, deep armory job that you're going on, um, Elsa starts getting a little loud. Um, and from behind you,
Shit.
um, in an archway, like an open archway out that leads out to the courtyard, you hear a your aunt is just a hair over 3 feet, but she has every ounce of mean and intimidating that Trunchbull has.
I believe it.
She's built like Trunchbull.
The worst.
Yeah. For the one person in the entire universe who doesn't know who I'm talking about, you should go watch the masterpiece film Matilda, starring Danny DeVito and a bunch of other people are in that
Rhea
movie.
Perlman.
Yeah.
Mara Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Also read the book because it's really good.
But yeah, your aunt is an absolute Trunchbull. And you just hear this deep, but at the same time shrill voice.
Fuck.
And the voice from behind you just says, if you're not here to make a purchase, I suggest that you leave.
Kind of flinch and look at Zill for a moment and say under her breath, "You're more than welcome to fend for yourself."
I sacrificed myself for you.
Sacrifice myself for you. Before turning around. Aunt Odatra! I didn't realize you'd be working today. How great.
Well, that is the gift of those of dragon steel. We actually work every day.
Yes, and very hard. Very hard for every gold piece. I actually did have work for Elsa. Not here to waste her time, just wanted to get some schematics. See what the quote was. Brutus is kind of dinged up a little. I need some new steel pieces. I don't have access to a forge myself, so I figured I'd spread the love among some of my favorite family members.
Make a deception check.
But it's only like half deception.
You used the plural
I
members.
did. I did.
That makes it a lie.
I did. And I don't have it. Okay, here we go. Use that inspiration. Really wish I hadn't wasted it. 12. You dice are not nice to me.
Um, the your aunt just looks at you with a cold, steely gaze and says, I have no doubt.
And I'll turn back to Elsa and say, yeah. So this piece right here, and she'll like I feel like Brutus naturally, like that's not a lie. He's kind of dinged up a little bit. Also, she was just punching him. So I imagine there are some bits and dings.
What is Brutus's AC?
Brutus's AC is 15.
Oh yeah. um there is definitely a large, like, Brutus kind of like rolls over
Yeah.
like in that like playful doggo kind of showing his belly, looking for belly rubs kind of way. And Lula, you notice for the first time there is a large dent in Brutus's like rib plate on one side. Make an investigation check. And Zilni, if you have not had the good fortune to leave already, you can assist.
He's actually, as she's looking at that, he's actually probably going to introduce himself to
call.
the aunt and try to.
Be your charming self.
Yeah, that's not him,
I know.
but a distraction, if he could, at least.
Okay. Sam, what is your investigation check?
17.
17?
Yeah.
Perfect. This large dent that you're just now noticing for the first
Fist-shaped?
time, it's absolutely fist shaped.
If you want to do the conversation and Ordata, Lula will turn to in the meantime.
Yeah, Zilni, you introduce yourself to uh Odatra.
Yes, Odatra.
Um and she just says, well, is there anything that you are looking for?
Okay, Rhodes' question for like world building wise. Where
Mhm.
do the blacksmiths make the guns? Who makes the guns?
Um the tool proficiency needed for gun making is tinkerer's tools. That would not necessarily be um it would not necessarily be blacksmith. Although many blacksmiths, weaponsmiths, armor smiths are also proficient in um tinkerer's tools. So it may not always be safe to assume that, but it is common enough that you might find something that you need, like ammo or spare parts, or in some cases, an entirely new gun.
Okay. Let's say I was accompanying your niece, but while I'm here, do you guys uh make any of the ammo or parts for guns by chance?
Um, we do. Um, and she leads you over to a display case that has a few small pistols, not much in the way of like spare or replacement parts, but there's ammo. There are essentially two. There is a level of standardization in the gun community that there is pistol ammo and rifle ammo.
Excellent.
Um, the kind of ammunition used in long guns is a little bit bigger. Um, and handguns are just a little bit smaller. That's really the only difference.
Yeah, he's just got two pistols, but I can't. How much is? Well, I mean, obviously you set the price, but how much would ammo be?
I will say
Unless you just want me to follow DMG, whichever's easier.
whatever's in the DMG is fine.
Okay, yeah, it says 10 bullets, it's 3 gold each.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 gold for 10 bullets, or
Each set of 10. 3 gold for each set of 10.
I was like,
Mhm.
30 gold.
For one bullet, what the Inflation is crazy around
That's
here.
Mhm.
nuts.
I have some money. Yes, I have starting gold. Excellent. Good. Um, because I don't trust what we're going to get into. Why did I pick a class that has to worry about ammunition? Stupid.
All right, I'll tell you what. You think on that for a couple of minutes. Uh, we are actually going to take our break a little bit early, if that's okay. And when we come back, we will pick up the conversation with Lula and Elza and get you some ammunition.
Okay, sounds good.
Sure. All right.
All right,
Be
so
back in a couple minutes then, folks.
yeah, stay tuned.
Bye.
Hello back, internet.
Welcome back. So, before the break, we had Zilny was purchasing some ammunition. How much ammunition were you looking for?
I'll just buy a set of like the one bundle of 10 bullets for the 3 gold.
Okay. She happily takes your money. And with a sort of a forced smile, she says, "Pleasure doing business with you."
You as well. And he'll turn around to see, how far into the conversation Lula is. 'Cause he's like, I've run out of ways to help you.
Yeah. Man, couldn't have done it while we were on break, huh? Come back. Hold on. Extra life, friends. 2024. New goal, 3250. All year to do it. We're doing really well. Wrong. If you know why OBS and Outlook or Discord are freezing, tell me. Right now, we don't. I'm not sure if we're even streaming right now. There we go.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back. Was it just me?
It was just
Yeah.
you.
Oh, I was sitting here talking to the stream, like. La, la, la.
And you were frozen in this like very nice like smiling pose.
Fuck me.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while Zilny is having this introductory conversation and making a purchase,
Yes.
Elsa says, "Okay, tell me about this job. Take me with you. I yearn for field testing."
It's under Deep in the Mines. Like, she keeps it really quiet. Real quiet, real quick. Deep in the Mines could be really dangerous. They found something. Sam has to look at her thing. Hold on.
You are pretty light on details.
Yeah, an ancient civilization, ancient settlement,
Yeah.
deep in the mines. That's all I kind of know. We're gonna be like a group that, like, the first group to kind of go in. It could be dangerous, but it could be a way to, test drive your armor instead of sitting around here.
How?
Uh,
You're hired. I'm hired. I don't know how that works. I've only worked for my mother.
Lula will pull out 2 gold from her pocket, from her pouch,
Mhm.
and set it loudly on the counter and say, I would like a piece of steel to replace that. And she points at Brutus, slides it towards Elsa, and
Elsa
says,
realizes what that dent is suddenly, and she kind of like recoils a little bit and says, "Oh, shit. Sorry."
and you can bring it to the mutton shop. Wink, wink.
Oh! Elsa's smart. She's not that kind of smart.
I know. I know. She should be, considering her
She's
build.
Well, she's smart, but wisdom is her dump stat. Yes. I will bring free delivery.
cousin.
A pleasure doing business with you, cousin. She says in like this like grandiose, like Shatner-esque overacting.
God. How long you think it'll take?
Oh, like I have that stuff here.
See you tonight then.
Yeah. And she kind of like claps you like on the arm.
Ow.
And yeah.
Lula will turn around to find Zill like staring daggers at her and say like lean around him and say, "Thanks, Auntie." And like grab Zill's like sleeve and kind of yank him out the door.
Your Zill's empty
Yeah,
sleeve.
pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you are currently disarmed.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's right, Tina. I said it. I said it and I meant it.
Oh, it's going there. It's going.
And yeah, we'll retreat as she will dig into her pocket again, dig into her pouch again, and pull 3 gold. And just hand them, just very silently hand it over.
He says, "Are you sure? I needed the bullets anyway."
Yeah, but you were a welcome distraction for a second. Money well spent.
All right. I'll take them and say, "Well, just remember, you only have to outlive them to win." His version of a pep talk.
What? All right, I have a question. What is Zilny advocating there?
Zill's intent is, hey, your aunt may be being kind of a bitch, but, you know, just outlast her and prove her wrong, is what he's trying to say, but he's not very eloquent
No.
about it. So he's just like, you just gotta outlive her.
Lulu just bursts out laughing. She thinks it's so funny.
I need Lulu to make an insight check.
Alright. 8!
You had no idea that murder was on the table until this conversation.
She's still laughing about it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't change anything.
Excellent. So the two of you go on your merry way. Endeavor and Helia. Where does the afternoon take the two of you?
Endeavor, you were in the bookshop, right?
Yes, I was in the bookshop. I purchased some books on bad shit underground, basically.
So on the way to the mutton shop, I think Helia would stop back off at the tea shops to see if
Endeavor's probably gone upstairs by that point. Like, I think after doing the purchase and realizing Helia's got to go off and do Helia things, they would have gone upstairs and started to prepare, started to pack things, making sure that they have their book and they have their reusable bag that they got with the book.
Yes.
And they're like filling it with what are the like those tiny little specimen jars, because there's apparently fungi underground. So you have to make sure to have some of those in there in case you want to take something home. And then I think the rest of the time while waiting for Helia to return back home, Endeavor is deeply concerned about leaving the plants that she's been trying to grow, some of which are doing better than others because there isn't a ton of windows in this space.
Okay.
But we're going to be going underground for unclear amount of time. So she's like trying to arrange the ones that need sun closest to the window and trying to make sure everything has water. And by the time Helia gets back, probably trying to rig some sort of really janky MacGyver-esque thing to like keep the water going where it should.
Okay.
And Helia will walk in, and kind of probably notice and be like, we could just ask the shop owner if she'd mind watering your plants.
That never occurred to me.
I'm sure she wouldn't mind.
She steps back and like the entire thing just collapses.
Oh, but I'll get the mop. Did you find out anything interesting today? Because I certainly did.
Mm, no, but I have a book on really scary shit that lives underground. It comes with pictures and diagrams, and there are a lot of things that seem to have extra body parts.
Yeah, there's things with a lot of legs underground.
I don't think these are legs. She'll just like, open to a random page and be like, it's like something that has just far too many. It's like a mouth, but lots of tentacles. And that's it.
Oh. Let's hope we don't run across one of those. I was thinking we should head to the mutton shop to meet up with the others.
Yes. What did you learn?
Well,
As we
she
start to
kind of
gather our things and pick up the
uh,
bags.
this rickety hake person, he's a contract writer, and they don't seem to have any record of the contract going under the mountain into the mines that we're going to be
Hmm.
going on. And further, Cormac didn't have any idea who G was or any record of the contract that Lulu was given.
Hmm.
And then she will hold up the piece of paper. So there's stuff going on, but also Phoenix Fire Forge looking for a group that can go into the mountain to get some, Phoenix Fire.
Hmm.
Thought we might kill two birds with one stone, get some extra money.
I would like to meet a phoenix.
Might be one in that book.
Quick flip through it.
Tina, make an investigation check.
Mm. Miss Jackson.
Okay. You flip through of this. You flip through this book. Did I give that book a name?
You did not. It was named informally as Scary Things in the Underdark.
Yeah, that is what the name of the book is. You open it and you start flipping through, and I don't know how in depth I described this the other week, but it's like a who's who of classic scary D&D and other eldritch horror monsters that you find underground in the deep dark places of the world. There is a particular creature type that you notice is entirely missing, and that's birds.
Yeah.
No
Perhaps
birds underground.
perhaps not no birds in the Underdark, or if they are birds, they may have been transformed into other things.
I mean, if I mean, there are things that fly
Yeah.
and or float,
I
but not due to aerodynamics or feathered
was
wings.
gonna say there seems to be a lack of feathers in this book.
Oh, I didn't say that.
There's feathers.
There's, I mean,
They're
there's
feathered.
obviously a feather golem that you are going to encounter now. But
There's
no,
something that's just feathers.
yes. It is it's a feather elemental. Um, but no, there are things that float or fly in this book. But those effects are mainly attributed to magic and hatred, not so much aerodynamics and wings.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't see it in here, but that does not mean it is not in the mountains. I'd like to meet one though. I think that would be a very interesting experience. Also, the money would be good.
Agreed to both. But
Like packing up and putting sandwiches in the bags.
I guess food couldn't hurt. But we can ask on the way down if
Yes, we
Dorza
would.
will water your plants.
Yeah, that would be very nice. Last time we had a job that took us outside of the area for a little bit. I came back and they were all shriveled and dead.
You did a good job bringing them back to life, but
Some of them are actually different plants.
One of them is actually plastic.
But that one survives everything.
Mm-hmm.
you know, if we get some of those carnivorous plants, we wouldn't have flies ever.
Or intruders.
True. Oh,
I'll make a note. Maybe we'll find something under the mountain. Apparently there is all sorts of different fungi down there, and some of them are most definitely poisonous, and I'm sure some of them probably have tentacles that eat you.
uh, maybe we keep those in a contained vessel, perhaps.
I brought containers.
Good call. Uh,
Go
okay.
downstairs.
I'm gonna go grab my things, and then we can head out. And Helia will go get her go pack that I'm sure she always has ready. Um, toss in a couple extra rations, and kind of meet Endeavor back at the front door.
You've got a 6-pack sized insulated lunchbox that is just packed with lamnis bread.
Yeah, solid.
Um, you have being a person in your position, you absolutely have just like a bug out bag.
Yeah.
It has 2 changes of clothes. It has a length of rope attached to it. Your Lamna's lunchbox
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be a magic item. Somebody make the Lamna's lunchbox a magic item.
She probably also has like various different IDs, and she kind of looks through them like, "Am I going to need any of these?" Like Neil Caffrey with his various passports. uh,
It is.
but yeah,
This
grab
is
the
not
basics.
that kind of adventure yet.
Yet being the operative word.
Yet.
It will be if Lula's aunt figures out what we might be doing.
Oh, yeah, she
Not gonna
does
find
sound
out.
pretty nasty every time Lula talks about her. Well, we
But
could maybe
yes.
just like duck and point her towards the danger. Maybe she'll miss us.
So the two of you grab all of your supplies, everything that you intend to take with you on this adventure, and you head to the mutton shop.
Mhm.
And on the
Uh,
way out, Helia will make sure to ask Dorza if she would mind watering Endeavor's plants up in the apartment above her shop.
well, I don't have a key to your apartment, But before you leave, if you'd like to bring them down, I don't know how many of them there are. You're welcome to bring them down here, and I will water them in the shop for you.
Yeah, it might take us a minute, but we will definitely bring them down if you don't mind doing that.
Of course.
Endeavor?
15
I-
minutes later.
Yeah.
It takes you a few trips.
Hmm.
It's not like it is more than, a 10-foot walk to the next door down. You got to go like around the corner and down the stairs and then back around the
Hmm.
corner. So it's a bit of a process, but yeah, 10-15 minutes later you have all of your plants
Hmm.
in the tiefling's tail.
Yes. If any
Um,
of the herbs, if you want to use any of the herbs, you can use them.
oh, well, that's very generous. I think I might. Um, and the two of you are off towards
Yes.
the mutton shop.
Mutton chop.
The two of you arrive. Lula and Zilny are already there. Lula and Zilny are absolutely not packed to go on this adventure.
Oh,
That you're not scheduled to sign the contract for another 2 days.
Mm-mm. I don't know if we're going home before then, though.
what are you guys
Brutus
have
just kind
bags
of
for?
like tilts his head at you.
Going somewhere before we go into the mines?
I
Well,
don't know. Are we?
I don't know. Are we
You're adults. You do what you want.
taking another job?
well,
I'm not sure
I
I'm considered an adult. Am I considered an adult?
Hmm.
I'm 7.
we'll say you are. Uh, actually, I took this flyer from uh, the guild office the other day or earlier.
Mm.
Earlier today.
It's been a weird day.
Mm.
Earlier today, Phoenix Fire Forge is trying to rebuild. They have a job down in the mountain. Two birds, one stone.
Possibly a phoenix.
I'm down.
Or and maybe just phoenix fire, but still, where there's fire, there's phoenix.
Other thing,
I don't think that's
I
always
also
true.
found out that,
Down there it might be.
yeah, uh, I also found out that Krumrak has no idea who G is or what this contract that you were given is, Lula.
Think?
No record of it. And no record of the one with Rickety Hake that Saoirse is apparently on. We should tread carefully.
Well, I guess technically we haven't signed the contract,
Mm.
so no record until you sign it.
What about the first one, though?
Came from a.
He didn't know. He didn't know who G was at all.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything. It did come from a deep armory messenger, I thought.
Hmm. We're sure that was a deep armory messenger and that they weren't just wearing deep armory.
Close.
Especially if there's discord among the guilds.
Possible, I guess.
Anyone who wants to try and rack their brain about that particular detail, make a history check.
Mm. Sure.
Cool.
25.
10.
14.
7?
So that was a 7
Yes, it was.
and a 25. Lula had a particularly good view of that runner thanks to some quick footwork by Brutus. You remember that the runner had introduced themselves as a runner, but did not give their name. And you also do not remember actually seeing a, like, guild patch or badge. You don't remember seeing any dragon marks, or not dragon marks, clan marks, um, or like tattoos. I mean, in fairness, you've left home without your deep armory badge in the past.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
pretty
that's
sure it's
something that
probably stored in Brutus.
I'm just saying. But you don't remember seeing a badge or a patch or anything of that sort.
Okay, well, I mean, that would make sense. I didn't really get a chance to talk to Elsa about it. I was gonna talk to her about it tonight. She brought that piece for me.
I mean, we've got a couple days. Do we want to find the kid?
Try.
Where would we even begin, though? We
Did he
I'm
have
a
a
s-
name?
No.
no.
Did Brutus get a good sniff? Maybe sniff him out?
Hmm.
I don't know. You built him. Does he have a sense of?
No snoot.
Does he have a little mechanical hound in him?
I don't know. That'd be a DM thing. Yes. DM decision.
I will say.
His stat block does not indicate that he can sniff.
Then I will say that he does not.
It's only mechanical. And
He's only
bites.
good as that stat block at your level will allow. I'm sorry. I've got to reel you in a little bit when I can, especially for the not antics, but my faux pas from our Tuesday night game. Our Tuesday night game, I accidentally gave the party a pirate ship that was the largest pirate ship ever conceived.
I'm not sure why you
Oh
did that.
shit!
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Maybe less for you.
I mean, it just means that I have justification to send more bigger enemies at them.
Someone's building.
Maybe
a
they
bigger
do
ship.
find a kraken on the high seas. Who knows?
Great.
Dragon turtle, here you come.
I mean, if we have 2 days, we
Keep an eye out
could,
for him.
and we could at least perhaps inquire with Deep Armory when we know it was halfling, right?
I believe so.
Was it a halfling?
Checks notes. Did I write that down?
Everyone check their notes, including the
Didn't write
dungeon
that down.
master. Did I
It
establish?
was a halfling message. We know that it was a halfling that showed up.
There we go.
We know what they were wearing. Oh, they did have a guild badge. They did
Justin
have one
says,
pair.
"I take back
Oh, yeah.
everything I
I
said."
take back everything I said.
For the past 15 minutes. I guess I gotta cross my shit out. Hold on.
But they did not give their name. And for all we know, they stole somebody else's. I mean, it was a badge. We did not see any tattoo, any sort of permanent marking.
Permanent marking, yeah. And I'm sure it's easy enough. I'm sure, like,
Yeah.
uh,
I'm sure
counterfeit
Hell
shit all the time.
as Hell. I feel like Hell, do you have badges for other guilds?
That is proprietary information.
Tina, I just want to confirm. your notes specifically say that halfling had a badge.
Yes, my notes say that Halfling Message Runner arrives with dyed blue armor, black cloak, and hood, bears a guild badge for deep armory, hands Lula a package containing a letter and supposedly a letter and 10 gold, and then a note that
There was 15.
5 of the crown. There was actually supposed to be 15, and 5 of the crowns were missing.
Note
Okay.
taker for the win.
Tina's our
Well,
lore keeper.
that just means that in the future, I should just say what my notes say. Because my notes say, if a licensed adventurer is in the party, a mysterious halfling enters the bar looking for that character. They claim to be a deep armory runner and have a job for you. They give you a small package and leave without another word.
Well, I mean, he could have
That's
stolen
not what
it.
happened.
Could have stolen it. You can
Yeah.
you can fake
Yeah.
that shit. There's
I mean,
illusion magic.
we chased after them because it was so suspicious from the outset.
Well, and
I
they
mean-
stole 5 of our gold.
Well, yeah, there
Yeah.
was that
I
part
got that
too.
back. But yes.
But I mean, we could go to the guild. We have a rough description, and maybe they'll, at the very least, be able to, if they're like, I don't know, if they're like, maybe there's no halflings in the guild.
Mhm.
Then,
that
well,
likely?
no, it's not.
Pretty sure we've seen halflings at the guild. Dustin, just for like again lore question, is
Sure.
there a penalty to impersonating another guild?
There's gotta be.
There's gotta be.
Because of
I'm sure
the
people
rules
do
are
it, but
very
there's
strict.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. It mostly as make a history check.
It's like pretending to be a teamster. Like
I feel like representing another guild, you would get hit with not only the impersonation penalty, but then also the penalty for all the shit you screwed up if anything. It's all the added stuff that you get sued for.
And
10. Yeah, it's something that you're not supposed to do. That's illegal. You can't.
like
you
I've
can't
probably
Zilney's probably
Yeah,
knows
like,
that for sure.
I've probably arrested
Yeah.
someone for doing it. Do I know what the law states and what the penalty is? No. I don't do anything other than put the handcuffs on
Yeah.
and take them to the jail.
That is such
After
a
that,
cop
You're a
thing.
cop.
Yeah.
Oh my
You're
god.
a cop, not a lawyer.
yeah, I
That
don't-
Such a
You may be an
fucking cop
asshole, but you have a
thing.
soul.
Although if you were a lawyer, you'd have a better pension.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
You would not have the soul. You would have traded that along the way, but you do get a pension for it.
Trade your soul for a pension.
Dude, sometimes I think I'd be willing to do that, so.
fair.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Glad
But
we're all on the
that's-
same page.
I mean, coming back as a devil, probably not that big a deal.
I mean, you're already a lawyer. So
You're a
what's the difference?
lawyer.
Yeah.
What's a devil but a better lawyer?
What's a devil but a really good lawyer?
He just leveled up.
Yeah.
That's
A
when you
devil is
become
a
level
partner.
1. That's your level 1 character. They were a lawyer and now they're just a devil.
No,
Yeah.
now they're
Fiend
now
pack.
they're a partner.
They're a fiend pack warlock. Partner in the firm.
Yeah.
Thurston absolutely should have been a fiend pack warlock.
That's
No.
AU Thurston.
Yeah, there we go.
AU
Thurston's
Thurston.
book is like one more soul and I make partner this year.
If we do a
Gotta
glitch,
get those hours.
yeah, if we do a glitch game,
Full of
Thurston
holes.
has to be-
Thurston.
Yep.
AU Thurston. Oh man.
100%.
Thurston don't do no pro bono work.
That's a scary thought.
It's kind of hot.
Lawful
So yes,
evil Thurston.
getting a little bit back on track here.
Yes.
You remember that the individual that gave you that parcel originally way back
like 2 days ago.
like
Yeah.
a day and a half ago was a halfling, uh, black and like navy or black and blue cloak. Um, and they did have a deep armory badge.
Maybe you just didn't register. Dustin, what's and I want to keep going, but like, what's the process for like like a not so much like a volunteer, like for the Phoenix Forge job? We're gonna go volunteer for that. We're gonna sign up for that. But like,
Mhm.
is it often that like specific people would get jobs? Like somebody gets handed a job and goes, "Here you go."
Um,
And what's the process of like registering that job under the guild? Is that like, would that be like my responsibility?
We were supposed to file the
We
paperwork.
were supposed to file the paperwork. I feel like Lula's not great at filing the paperwork, guys. It ends up being under her coffee mug and covered
Lula-
in like oil stains.
So Lula is definitely not good at following up on paperwork.
No.
There is a protocol. If you have a particular, if an individual of any guild has a good relationship with anyone else who's authorized to write contracts, such as an individual like Rickety Hake, you can be approached by a quest giver, for lack of a better term,
Sure.
and and they can say, "Hey, Lula, I have a job that needs doing. I would like you to do it. Will you take the job?" Or you can cast a wide net and say, "I need an adventurer to go get me some Phoenix Fire for my forge." Um, so once a contract is signed, then it is filed with the guild, which does explain why Crumrack didn't have any idea what you were talking about with Hake's contract because it hasn't been signed and filed yet. Um, but there are. Go ahead and make me a history check. Just Lula.
9.
9. That is the end of my sentence.
Okay. Cool. So,
Out of curiosity, do we have the letter, the original letter?
who's got it?
Do we have something, any kind of anything yet that has writing? We don't have the mine contract, which Rickety would write, but we have something from Sersha, I think, like just with the basics of like, here's where you're going at what time, or something like that.
You have some scribbling on the back of a napkin with a date and a time to meet back at the Dire Keg. And you know that date and time corresponds with a meeting with Rickety Hake to get the contract signed.
Okay. When we get the new contract, we can compare the writing. I mean,
Sure.
see if G is maybe issuing multiple contracts
Well, and
or writing multiple contracts, I guess. I mean, it would make sense if if something's not filed but is written, it would have to be someone on the backside, if that makes sense.
if Hakes is recruiting outside of Armory,
Yeah.
then
And
you might
perhaps
hear
recruiting
something.
and recruiting through, at the very least, odd channels, it seems like, given where we were.
I would like Zilmi, Helia, and Endeavor to make history checks at this point. As you guys are talking and having this conversation.
It's like a whole bunch of people who are like, how does this actually work? Guys, did you ever
Nothing.
think about like
10.
We're rolling like garbage today, you guys.
Yeah, 6.
Listen, history
4.
is not my strong suit.
Okay.
Also, tell me if
I'm
anybody
glad you
gets
guys all
nat
did that
ones.
for me.
Oh wait,
Appreciate
wait,
it.
wait! I do have an inspiration. Can I use
I
it?
do too. Oh, wait. I think I do too.
If you
I
have
do
an
too.
if you have an inspiration or $15.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I gave you all my $15
Jesus,
over the weekend.
I rolled worse.
You rolled
I rolled a
worse.
9.
Blew my inspiration to roll worse on a history check. Jesus.
Ben, didn't you just do that
Yeah,
earlier
I
today?
did. Uh-huh.
I rolled better, but it's still single digits.
Wow. Alright, well.
Court, did you have any secret inspiration
Nope, I
or
rolled 10
advantage?
generally.
Nope.
Are you friends with a divination wizard that's gonna give you one of their
Not
portents?
in this game.
It would only be, with our luck, it would be a divination wizard that rolled like a 1 and a 2.
Yeah. Um. Yes, I'm glad we get to practice rolling dice together.
Are we
Moving on.
lowering the curve here? Like,
Well, you're certainly flattening it.
Cool.
You know what?
Cool.
This group has never questioned their things before.
It just
Like, they
happens.
get contracts, they do the thing, they get the money, and then
You
they
drink.
either go, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening here that you are all suddenly realizing all together and at the same time that has always been handled by other departments.
Yeah.
And it feels
Not my
like
job.
everybody dropped the ball.
Mhm.
And
It's
you
like-
don't know how to do like 90% of the clerical work.
We get all of a sudden have to
There
fill
is.
out there's tax forms apparently.
Wait,
And
we pay taxes?
yeah.
somebody just
Apparent-
handed you FAFSA forms and was like,
Yeah.
figure it out.
Oh
Yeah.
god. Yeah.
Oh, so this is
Yeah.
like a
Just
blind
saying.
college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zill has only ever until recently signed one contract
Yeah.
before, just over and over. Like it's just the same. They just change the date and he just signs
Yeah.
it again. Sign it again. So he's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I didn't even know they said other things."
This
Like,
this
wait,
piece
wait,
of
there's other
parch-
clauses?
This piece of parchment that Zill has
Oh my
signed
god, it's probably
over
like
and
so
over and over.
soft and like
It's the
folded.
same piece of parchment, but there's just like at the top, it's got like, you know, this person, and you have your name printed, and your name never changes at the top, so that's fine. But it's, you know, this person on this date, and it's got the date. And then it's scribbled out, and right above it is a different date and an initial. And that's scribbled out. And above that is a scribbled out date and initial, and above that, and above that, and above that, and it's just a tower of dates.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom of the contracts, you're building a sub basement, an ever expanding sub basement of signatures.
Yeah. They made him retire because they ran out of space on the piece of paper. They're
Yeah.
like, we literally cannot
Not.
renew this contract.
Alright, well.
I mean,
Yeah,
it could
we
be
can take
something
some
good
looking around.
before we head underneath, well, into the mines. If there's something weird going on, it'd be good to know before we isolate ourselves from civilization and go deep into the earth.
Well, and maybe Elsa will know something. We're gonna try and look at Zilni. Like, maybe Elsa will know.
Why would Elsa know something?
So Elsa's gonna meet us here. Got a piece of armor, well, plating for me because she broke my dog. Like Bruce is just like laying on the ground, just like
Poor buddy.
Brutus realizes that you're talking about him, and he like jumps up and like perks up, like, "Oh, is that me?" And he gets all wiggle buddy.
yo, took up. But I didn't really get a chance to talk to her because my aunt showed up.
Oh.
But she seemed interested in maybe coming on this mission with us. Test out her new armor.
Your aunt is gonna follow us
No.
if she finds out.
She won't find out. I find out.
Lula.
We
You
may
think
need to
she's
stay
not
within
gonna
the mountains
notice?
for a lot longer.
If she follows us, okay, maybe I don't know what she'll do. She follows us. It'll be fine. Elsa needs to field test her equipment.
Can I
How
help
old
Brutus
is
if she
Elsa?
kills you?
Sure. Elsa's definitely younger than Lula. Maybe not by much, but like just enough to be like Lula's the cool cousin.
Elsa
Like-
is just enough younger than Lula to be not the same age. You know, you have family members that you're not the exact same age, but you might have a cousin that's like a year or two older or younger, and eventually you're about the same age. Elsa is definitively younger, but not by much.
Is she even old enough to have picked a guild yet?
No, that's why she's stuck at Dada's. Dacha's.
So you're going to, assuming I understand your aunt's perspective, corrupt her daughter into probably picking a different guild.
And possibly kidnap her daughter.
Is it kidnapping if
From
she's
her-
coming willingly?
I think it's kidnapping if your aunt says it's kidnapping.
Is she
Well, but
adult
is
enough
she
to
a
make that
kid?
choice?
I mean,
Is,
she's
Lu- is this a babysitting job?
no, not that young.
I mean,
Uh,
gnomes age. We live a long time, so what we consider a kid, I mean, I think Lula's basically 5.
That's rude. That's rude. I'm 60. Thank you.
Is that like 6? I don't
What I said. I said what I said.
Okay, just because I didn't see, when they first dug into the mines.
Oh, hey,
And when
were you
Skytown
actually
was
there
like-
when they dug? Were you there when they dug the mines? What do you remember from back during your misfit youth?
I was there when the deep magic was
I know.
written.
Were you there when the deep magic was written?
And she'll just put the sentence like, I'm not that old. Thank you. Thank you.
Sam, how old
Yeah.
did you say that Lula was?
Lula's 60.
Okay. For everyone to have perspective, gnomes mature at the same rate humans do, and most are expected to settle down into an adult life by around age 40. Your cousin, whose name just
Elsa.
poof, Elsa.
Elsa.
She's 35.
Oh, you're mean. She's a baby.
Well, she's like a 17-year-old.
She is like a 17-year-old. She's just
The important thing here is that gnomes mature at the same rate that humans do. So by the time you're 20, you are technically an adult.
Technically, she's almost an adult.
Technically, she's kind of an
Technically,
adult.
But would you?
She's
trust
about
a
as an adult as
teenager?
I am.
But
Okay, well,
Okay, 35-year-old.
how much trouble can your aunt cause?
Me?
In general, like say she discovers that Elsa's missing.
Will she just, let it go? Or
Oh God, no.
No, that's Elsa. We're talking about Elsa with a Z.
No, probably not. But like, fine. She doesn't have to come with. I'm just saying. She has this.
She can come with. I'm not saying it's bad.
Suddenly, bursting through the door, almost knocking it off its hinges, and sending your friendly neighborhood barkeep, Edwin,
Mm.
causing him to drop the glass that he's holding.
Mm-hmm.
You see a gnomish height, maybe a little tall for a gnome. This large, almost barrel shaped suit of armor that is completely sealed and is in like banded plates. So it is very mobile, very articulatable. But it is a freshly cleaned and polished powder blue and uh powder blue and purple, um mostly powder blue armor with some purple accents, a a bright but deep purple cape, and a like a horsetail off the back of the helmet that is um I will say at the roots is electric blueberry, that fades to pink at the tips.
I love
It
it so
looks
much.
like cotton candy,
I love it so much.
and the face is a bear. It is a bear face mask.
Is it different than the fox she was wearing earlier?
Yes.
Well,
The
is...
entire suit is different than, well, Endeavor and Helia don't know this.
Right.
But Zilni and Lula, you can tell that this particular suit is in overall design, it is not terribly different, but in function it is clearly a different suit. And the figure twists the helmet slightly to the side and pops it up and off, and your cousin Elsa stands before you. Underneath her cloak, she has a large backpack that is fit to burst. You don't know what's in there, but it's fit to burst.
Cool. I'll wave her over.
That is the opposite of stealthy.
Well, that might not be the suit she brings.
Clank, 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 clank.
I hope not.
How many does she have?
Quite a few in works in progress. She has the material. What are you doing?
I'm
And
coming
Helia
with
will
you.
lean over to Endeavor and be like, start studying those creatures in your book. We're gonna need the info about them.
Look up, make a note to look up which ones hunt by sound.
According to the Underdark, they all hunt by sound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
You said I could come with.
We're not leaving for another 2 days.
What?
I
You didn't
told
say
you.
that.
I did say that. I said in 3 days.
Are you sure?
I am 100% sure.
Brutus, did she actually say that? Coward.
What'd you tell your mother?
Nothing.
You just left?
Yeah?
Should all just go this way.
Okay. Well, you're here now. So sit and we can have a drink. Can you sit
Hell
in
yeah.
that thing? Can you get out of that thing? What's happening here?
Uh,
What happened to your other
she,
one?
you see that her one arm like juts and shortens a little bit, like she's pulling her hand like through a sleeve. And then she standing at like the head of the table. Um, you see the entire suit like settle a bit, and the entire back of the suit opens up like a clamshell, and uh Elsa just takes a step and steps out of the suit.
This thing is cool. Okay, can I make like a, I don't know, Arcana check to see like the quality of this suit?
Yeah.
Yep, looks fine to me. Anyone?
Your cousin's fucking Iron Man. And you, Lily, you knew this, but to
I mean,
those of you who have not connected the dots, Elsa is also an artificer. But instead of being a battlesmith like her cousin, Elsa took the path of the armorer. And this is one of her 2 sets of arcane armor.
take a seat.
So yeah, the suit stays open so that she can climb out. She steps to the side and she pulls a finger on one of the gloves and the suit closes again. And anyone who walks around can see that it is all but seamless. And the suit just stands there, all intimidating and shit. And um, and Elsa just plops the seat down. So what are we
Okay.
talking about?
A talented child.
Your mother didn't see you take that out of the house.
No, I think.
Like, check.
Did she leave while walking?
11.
11.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't there. You don't know if your aunt saw her leave.
Yeah.
So your cousin says you might want to come on this job with us.
My cousin should have said, I definitely am coming on this job with you.
Should probably know more information about the job before you make that sort of decision.
Probably a good idea. What's the job?
Uh, well, apparently they were digging a little deep, found a new potential ancient settlement. We've no idea what's down there. It could be extraordinarily dangerous. We won't know
Cool.
more
I'll
I'm
pull out
in.
the book and
person.
start flipping the pages. These are the things that live down there. There's this one. It just seems to have mouths. Some of them
You
mouths.
open up to a page and the bold writing at the top of that page just says glibbering mouther.
Yeah. The mouth actually has a mouth inside of it. I think it might be mouths all the way down. Just don't understand. Like,
Um,
why do the teeth have teeth? They need to do that.
you start flipping through this
Mhm.
book, and Elsa's face goes increasingly pale the further into this book that you get. Um, and like every so often she's like, "Oh, oh, uh, and you're going down here?"
Yeah,
Well, you're coming with us, so you're going down there too.
And we're all going down here.
We're going down there.
If we want to
It's
get
no,
paid.
and there's no indication that any of these are there. It's just things that we want to keep an eye out for.
But they might be there.
maybe.
Potentially.
All
We
right, I'm
don't
in.
actually know what was there. Saoirse never said it. She just said ancient civilization.
You're the
You
front
know,
lines.
they need somebody
Yes.
to go through into the new chamber.
Yes. We'll be the ones finding out if there's anything of that nature down there.
Which I suppose they'll know very quickly if we go in and just, grrr.
Come out with our minds scrambled and controlled by something else?
No, they might not know, actually.
Wait, they do that?
There's some messed up stuff underground, kid.
Got something else you could do.
I mean, I really want to field test this armor, though.
Maybe we should field test it above ground first.
Like, in a field.
Yeah. When I get back.
Hmm.
Okay.
Mm,
I think I'm okay.
mm.
Okay. Well, I was gonna ask you something, but your mom kind of interrupted.
Oh, and she out of her bag, she pulls a very large piece of sheet metal.
Nice.
This is for Brutus.
Thank you.
It is bare, unpolished, but it does have like painted across it. I'm sorry, Brutus.
Oh.
Aww.
She'll set it like up against her chair. Leave it for now. Maybe you can help us in something else, though.
Uh, sure.
Has Aunt Adatra said anything about... Oh no. Other guilds? Like, not me, obviously. She's gonna say shit about. But like,
And she does.
eh.
But don't worry, it's nothing that she wouldn't say to your face. Or has said to your face. Or will
She's,
continue saying to your face.
she's so considerate that way. But like, she talked about anything like happening between guilds? Anybody fighting? Be a cleric getting involved? Anybody hanging around the smithy?
Well, other than what I do for the shop, there isn't really any enchanting going on. So we don't really have many like clerics or sharper visage come through.
Mm-hmm.
Um I I can't really think of anything other than, you know, nothing outside her standard propaganda.
Yeah, but that's nothing new. All heard that.
No, not really. She doesn't really talk about, other than the propaganda, she doesn't really talk about the other guilds or have very many friends in other guilds or very many friends.
All right, well, if you hear anything, just keep an ear out for the next couple days while we're gone.
Uh, sure, yeah.
Anything weird.
Like, anything in particular?
Just anything regarding any other guilds. If doesn't really talk to anybody else outside of Dragonsteel, so she talks about someone else or to someone else that's not just a customer. I don't know.
Okay, I guess I could keep an eye out.
Well, for now, get around to drinks, and then I'll walk you home.
Okay. At
Mhm.
some point during this time, Edwin comes over, gets a couple of drink orders going for you. And yeah, you put a few rounds back and finish out the evening.
Mm. Are we going to go to the forge, Phoenix Fire?
Yeah, we should probably do that.
Yeah, we'll need to go see Carlias if we want to take the job.
Is that something that you guys are going to try and do tonight, or is that tomorrow morning work?
Well, should we snag it now before somebody else does?
Probably be a good idea.
Is
Then tomorrow we
Corlias an
can
elf?
prepare for the rest of it. He was the one that put up the wall of water, so I think
think notes.
Vaguely recall.
Keats.
Go ahead and make a history check.
Yeah, it was
Eladrin.
yeah.
So he may not be asleep anyway.
Yeah, probably not. It's not that late.
How about I take Elza home, you guys go grab the contract.
Sure. Be careful of your aunt.
Funny if you think you see me.
Well, she might hear you coming from 6 miles away with that armor.
Brutus just barks.
And because of that,
Alright, yeah, you're not wrong.
Note to self: prepare silence for when we go in the mines.
I will drop her off and head towards Forge, otherwise meet you guys. Keep?
yeah.
Keep
You all are packed to go, so are you heading back to your apartment place? Stay at the keep, see if maybe you can hear something?
Might be worth it. What do you think?
Might be worth it. Also, do Sersha never said how long we were going to be down, right?
I don't
No.
think so.
Exploratory mission, so who knows?
What do we think? What do we think the chances are that once we're down, we'll be able to easily get back out? Are we going to need things like we're going to have to eat while we're down there? And I don't really.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely need rations.
So maybe we can also see if. I'm assuming like guild halls and stuff might have basically like a quartermaster, storehouses, places where you can go buy stuff at the company shop.
Yeah, like company store.
Yeah,
Like when you go get
basics.
pencils in elementary school.
Yep.
It's
Mhm.
kind of the yeah. I figure like there must be a place where we could do your basic, like your hardtack, and your making sure you have some extra skins for water. And I don't know if we're advanced enough to purify that water, that'd be cool too, because God only knows what's in it. Mining sludge.
It'll be fine.
I live too close to West Virginia. I've seen what the
Mhm.
rivers looked like.
Gross.
Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, we could always do that, hang around over there. Um, I don't know.
Ace has feelings about that too.
Could you turn if you hell yeah.
Yes.
Could you turn into the person that delivered us that note? Like look like them.
Kind of thinks for a second. Transforms as she's thinking, except for the portion on her neck here is still like a charcoaly black color where she was burned.
Mm, yeah.
About as close as I can get at the moment.
Court, make a history check.
Natural 20.
Hey.
You as good as it possibly can be.
I wonder if you walked somewhere, maybe into the guild, or maybe just near it, if anybody would recognize that face. We might get a name.
I could try. Might be worth it. Maybe I should go with Lula and Elsa and see if the aunt might recognize this face.
Uh-oh.
Hi.
Uh Helia will give Endeavor and Zelny the contract. If you want to go pick this up.
We can handle it.
Yeah.
I didn't sign for it myself or anything. I took it off the notice board.
Do we like all need to sign this piece of paper before we split up?
Oh, probably.
Pull out a quill. All right.
Yeah.
Sign it with a flourish.
Oh God. Oh, does Lula sign just Lula, or does she sign all of
We always make sure to leave the bottom right corner for Lula so that chair
Lula's
can like
signature
spill
is
over.
A B C D E F G Lula.
them? Yeah, like I think it depends on how she's feeling, how drunk she is,
Solid.
how big the contract is.
Really just like scribble, scribble, scribble.
Doctor's signature.
Yeah.
I feel like Endeavor has like when you the kid that's really good at cursive in about second grade, where it's like very precise. Each of the small letters is half the size exactly of
Oh.
the large letter.
A typewriter did it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It looks like you typed in the cursive font in Acrobat.
Right? Split up.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's going where?
Hal and I are going back to what did you call it?
The
The Hammer's Clamor. Take Elsa home.
You can call it the Clam Jam.
That's definitely the name of a lesbian bar around here. Awesome. Let's go.
That's on what is that road? Moonlight Row.
Moonlight. Yeah.
Moonlight?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Different. They probably get confused for it.
Oh God.
Oh my God, no, they took it from Ordatra. So like it's literally
She's
like
salty.
it looks like the smithy, but like
Oh no. There's other things happening inside.
Yeah.
Different tools.
There doesn't like
No,
only
same
blacksmith
tools.
aprons.
Same tools. Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
No wonder she's so salty.
Yeah, and then
Then Endeavor and Zell are going to turn in this contract.
I will be right back if you want to start with Zell and Endeavor.
Okay. Yeah, and where are the two of you going? Are you going
Phoenix.
straight to the Phoenix Fire?
Yeah, we're going straight to Phoenix Fire to turn in the contract.
Okay. Um, yeah, the two of you it's getting around sunset. Many shops are starting to close at this point. Um, but you get down to the Phoenix Fire Forge. The area is already mostly cleaned up. The building is still half a building. Um, but all of the like debris and anything that is not salvageable has already mostly been cleared away. Um, and you see, uh, da, 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 you see a few familiar faces, including Corlias and Thuldar. You see. Where did I put those other names? There was another Fire Ganassi and the Tortle.
Hold on. Elias.
Timber.
Yeah. You
Sorry.
got it. No, you got it.
And I don't remember how
Kazakh.
we said it.
Kazakh.
Kazakh, yeah.
Kazakh,
I
yeah.
know we had the spelling. We determined
We
that.
did.
But
Mhm.
where the emphases were.
On
nah.
the syllables.
The syllables.
So yeah, you see all of them plus a few other faces. A You see another dwarf and two half elves that are also working and clearing debris and whatnot. Corlias is talking to the pair of half elves, and um, they are showing Corlias like a big a large scroll, and as you approach, you realize that it's like building plans to have the building rebuilt. Um, and Corlias sees the two of you approaching and says, uh, my saviors, what can I do for you?
We figured we'd keep the trend going, Zell says as Endeavor pulls out the signed contract.
Uh, and I am happy for it. And you already have it signed. You and your other two compatriots. Fantastic. Um, well, is there anything you need to know? Any assistance I can provide? I don't have much in the way of really anything in the way of equipment. But I'm happy to share any information I might know.
I guess,
Yeah.
how do we get the fire to you?
And also where I guess start with the fire is in the mountains. Do we mean in as in inside or in as over the tops?
Well, a phoenix is a bird of considerable size. If you ever found one inside a mountain, that would be very problematic for both you and the bird.
And possibly
They
the mountain?
and possibly the mountain, yeah. Um, They, as far as I know, they do tend to make their nests at the peaks of mountains. Um, and although I haven't seen, I don't remember the last time I had actually seen a phoenix flying over the town. I do know that many years ago there was a phoenix nest nearby enough.
Nearby in
No.
which direction?
Uh, he points like towards the. So the
We have a lot of mountains here.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean he pretty much just points
Yes.
inward towards the town, kind of northwest.
Okay. Okay. Do This is more of a GM question. Do we have volcanoes?
It's an interesting question.
Are some of these mountains angry?
Is there an angry mountain?
If there is not, we can probably make it angry.
Spicy Mountain.
Ate too much Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't want that mountain to explode.
Oh.
No.
Um, Relias says there is um almost due west of here through the mountain pass on the
Mm,
other side of the range.
mm.
Um, there is a peak that uh last I was in that area, and now you motherfuckers are making me expand my world map. um, the humans that are local to that area, I believe, simply refer to that peak as Spice Mountain. Um, and if that is where, if I were a phoenix, that is where I would make my nest.
Seems fitting.
And
Ah,
if we
if
find
we
this nest, how do we. Do you need the phoenix itself? Just the fire it produces? And how do we get either one of those things to you?
Um, that, fortunately for me, perhaps unfortunately for you, is not not my department, so it were. I do know that a phoenix's fire burns is among the hottest burning fires in existence.
mm, okay.
And is also among the longest lasting fires. Um, an object set alight by phoenix fire will burn burn longer and hotter than almost anything, as if it were um as if it were 10 times the size and 10 times as hot as it normally would.
Okay. We might need to talk to somebody about that part.
Um,
Can't
but
store it in Brutus.
um, I am expecting the building to be completed in the next 2 weeks.
Mhm.
I would hope that you would be able to return with the fire of a phoenix somehow within that time frame.
Well, guess we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. We'll talk to some people. See if we have they can build a
I'm sure Lulu
lantern.
can.
Like a lantern or something maybe that we can fit in. A
Okay.
really reinforced lantern.
Or would you like the spark notes?
Sure.
Um, Far to the west, on the other side of the mountain range, there is a mountain peak. The humans of that area refer to this peak as Spice Mountain. And if Corlias was a phoenix, that's where he would make his nest.
Okay.
The fire of a phoenix, uh, when lighting any object, that object will burn 10 times as hot and for 10 times as long. Kind of counterintuitively. You would think that a fire that burns twice as hot burns half as long, but that is not the case here, which is why Phoenix Fire is so sought after and so valuable.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, I suppose we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
I look forward to it. Is there anything else I can do for you? Unfortunately, we have a few hours of work yet to do this evening.
Don't think so. We'll look at Endeavor.
No, I don't we don't need anything, right? I mean,
I don't think so.
does the contract say how much we get for this job?
Um, Corlias takes a few minutes and uh he so he takes the
Mm.
flyer from you. And he takes a couple of minutes and he writes up a little bit more
Mm.
formal of a contract. Um, and it stipulates that um, he does not need all four of your signatures. Just having one of the two of you sign it binds one of you to the contract, and that's good enough uh for him. You know, you can subcontract duties on your own. Um but he draws up a more formal contract, and the contract, should you return within the agreed upon time, uh there is 200 gold pieces in it for you.
Mhm.
Still will sign the updated form, essentially. Signature
Okay.
or his initials next to it. Like, yep. Cool, cool.
All right.
Mhm.
So, all right. And yeah, with that, Corlias leaves you to your business, and you leave him to his.
Yep, yep.
Did
And
we?
we,
Okay.
what's
Sorry,
that?
Rhodes' memory. Did we say we were meeting back up again, or after this we're just it's nighttime and we're all just like heading back to our apartments? I don't remember.
I think we had not decided to meet up in a specific place. I was gonna go to the Deep Armory headquarters and potentially see Helia later. But
Well, I
otherwise,
have
we
to
were,
walk in that direction anyway, so I'll walk with you.
yeah. Do you have to get your arm at some point?
Oh, that won't be ready quite yet.
Oof. Is it is it difficult?
Uh, it's- it feels like there should be an arm there, but there isn't, and I keep going to reach for things and can't.
Ugh.
All
Seems
right.
very frustrating.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out how way to regrow it. There are animals that regrow pieces.
Yes. I'm here, I'm back. Oh. Hold on. Oh, it's not letting me back in. Hold on, guys. Score. Oh.
I don't know if we're
Uh-oh.
actually online.
Hold on.
Oh,
Hold on. Sorry.
Discorded.
Discorded.
We've been interneted.
Yeah. Wouldn't let me back in the voice chat either.
No.
It's okay. We're recording. It's fine. I'll edit it.
Ew.
It's okay.
Um.
mm,
So yeah, the two of you are having this very strange conversation. Um. And we turn now to Helia and Lula
Yeah.
and Ilza as you make your way back to the Hammer's Clamor.
Helia will, she kind of changed while they were at their table, probably made sure nobody was watching. She'll walk back in the guise of the messenger, just to see if that attracts any attention in town as well.
Okay.
Yeah. She'll fasten up her cloak though to try to cover as much of the injury as possible.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and with that ability, your clothes don't change. Um, but yeah, you do change your appearance, and the three and a half of you um make your way back to the blacksmith shop. Um, go ahead and Helia, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Okay. 17.
And Sam, if you want to be doing the same thing, you may.
Brutus is always on guard.
Yeah, 17.
11 for me. 13 for Brutus.
Okay. Yeah, Lula and Brutus don't notice anything. Court, you got a 17.
Blissfully.
Um, you are trying to keep your head like on a swivel, but at the same time, not.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to clock who's noticing you, and you do get a couple of looks here and there. Um, but nothing that really stands out to you. Um, you catch you catch the gaze of a couple of people as you're walking, but you don't really notice like any recognition in any of their faces. Um, by the time you return to the Hammer's Clamor, the shop is closed.
I assume Elsa has a key.
Well, yeah. But it looks like your aunt has locked up the shop for the night. Part of the building is like as many buildings in this town. Uh, Commerce on the first floor, residences on the second floor.
Just makes sense. Alright, Elsa. Your stop. Let you know when I'm back in town. Back above ground.
Okay, if you change your mind,
I will let you know.
I can still come with, I guess.
I'll
As long as we don't find anything particularly nasty.
I can't promise that. Probably will.
Well, then it was nice knowing you, I guess.
Mm,
And she gives you a hug before heading inside.
we're back.
It was nice meeting you, Helia. And she gives like a little bit too excited, especially for an introvert type of wave.
Just a thought. Armor that will take just as much of a beating, but is dead silent. You'd be a real killer.
Oh, I've got a set of that. I can do that.
Bring it with you next time. You can come along.
Yeah. You see, and she immediately starts explaining all of the different things that this set of armor can do that is different from her lighter set. That there are some things the lighter set cannot do that this one does, and there are some things that this one can't do but the lighter set does. The lighter set is obviously a lot quieter, but when you're just crushing skulls and breaking things. Tink, tink, tink. This is where it's at.
That's fair. You know, I generally try to be a little more in the shadows.
I mean, that's fair. I can go either way sometimes.
Also fair. Anyway.
Um, she makes a fist and says, but the one really cool thing that lighter set can't do is this. And she drops down to a knee and punches the ground. I need I need just Helia to make a dexterity saving throw.
Either the DC's
19.
There you go.
19.
Yeah.
Okay. You are able to jump back just in time to see a burst of electricity on the ground in a 5-foot radius.
That's a good trick. You might have just announced your presence, but it's a great trick.
I mean, the idea is that I announce my presence to only dead things.
That you be the one. What's up? Make use of it
Oh.
yet.
And with that, she waves again and heads inside.
What do you think?
What?
Well, you wanted her to come.
Yeah. Not ready yet. I wanted her to come. I want her to test that armor. Waste of it sitting here. Both sets. She wears it to craft things, for Forge God's sake.
See what Endeavor and Zelny say about the Phoenix. We know that one's above board. Perhaps she could come with us then.
I think she'd like that one a lot.
Hell, I'd like that one a lot.
Yeah, we gotta survive the next one first.
There's just... Perhaps I've been a spy for too long, but there's something about this that is making the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Saoirse would let anything derail her reputation. Armory. Pretty big name.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Start heading back east. South? East? South?
Should I keep this face on? Don't really feel like it fits me, but
Change it back today?
I can change it back whenever.
Pretty cool trick.
She kind of gives you a wink and then like changes back to the half elven form that she's been wearing for the last day or two. Still ginger.
Of course. Yeah.
Where are we meeting up at the guild hall?
Can. If you guys are done not staying at the shop, then I need to get this back on Brutus. And she holds up the, like, she's been basically holding this piece of metal like a shield.
To
And
be honest, I just didn't think about it when we left. Getting the ducks in a row, you know?
sometimes it's easier just to go. I gotta get this on Brutus, and I can only do that in my shop, but meet you guys at the guild hall tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's where Endeavor is heading, so I will go meet them and see if we can find anything out. Keep our ears open. You know, they like to talk in the barracks.
All the same direction, so I'll walk you.
Sounds good. Besides, we've already asked Dorza to water Endeavor's plants, and we brought them all from downstairs.
Must have taken forever.
Endeavor is surprisingly efficient, but yeah. They don't have anything that can eat anybody at the moment, though, so I guess that's a small blessing.
That's good.
But they did seem excited about some tentacled mushrooms that they might find under the mountain, so...
Okay, maybe I'm really glad that Elsa's not coming with us. I can take my
What?
aunt. Anybody else in the family? I don't know.
Well, either way.
All right.
Plants do make the place nice, though.
Okay, so the two of you walk and drop Helia off at the Deep Armory Guild Hall before heading home. And I think that might be as good a place as any to call it for the evening.
Yay!
When we return, we will get to that meeting with Rickety Hake.
Yeah.
And depending on how that goes, we might go into the mines or we might go over the mines. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yay!
Good general direction.
Yeah.
We're definitely going towards some mountains, though.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
There
gonna
will
be
be-
mountainous, I can tell you that much.
Under or over. Cool. All right.
I mean,
It'll
I feel
either be really bright or really dark.
like...
Tune in next week to find out.
Yes.
Same bat time.
All right.
Same bat.
Same bat channel.
Mhm.
Bye, internet.
All right.
Good night, internet.
Bye.
Good night.